Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. It's Fun Friday, Fun Friday. Thank goodness it's Friday. Thank you. Woo! Where's my magical mamas? Hello, hello. It's Friday. I'm feeling revved up. You feeling good? This full moon is it's got me going. It was a good full moon. It was a good, energizing full moon. Did you guys feel that? This week, that it was like a kind of a breath of fresh air. Good morning, Krista. This full moon really I felt like a lot of healing. I felt a lot of energy. I felt, woohoo! Good morning, Lonice. Yeah, it was good. How was it for you guys? So, cause Friday is all about, so I want you guys to just be commenting away, right? Fun Fridays is all about you and how yes, very jittery with energy. Yes, very big, powerful, amazing, abundant, right? It felt really abundant, woo, I can do this finally, right? I think we're coming out of that that phase that has been kind of dragging. A lot of us have had working with some of the mamas that I'm working with, I've been pulling out a lot of this dragging tar feeling, and I feel like this full moon really just helped embody and melt that away in a way that felt more alive than before. We are definitely moving through the seasons. We're only about 2 weeks away from autumn equinox, which is my favorite seasonal festival. I would love to hear what yours is. So what's going on in your life? Share what you gotta, what you're grateful for. What are you doing? What's awesome? What insights have you gotten? What awareness has come through this week? Good morning to whoever else is hopping on right now. Please comment, share, and say hello. That way we can see you and we can acknowledge you and say hello to you. So this week of awareness was sometimes with awareness, we can get into spaces of kind of getting down on ourselves, right? Where we go, oh, I'm so aware, and I don't really want to be, right? So with this week of awareness, were you able to see some things and yet be really gentle on yourself? Either, pop a thumbs up or a yes. Krista. Okay, she's going to get her business license and open my business checking account today. Yay! Also bought another domain name for a landing page, designyourownascension.com. Woo-hoo! Yeah! Oh my gosh, Krista, this is so exciting. Yay! Krista has been moving full force ahead, and it's funny, how we can see things in other people, how just be gentle on yourselves, and that yet we do the same things to ourselves. Krista has really just started this whole kind of coming out of the psychic closet in September, and she's created an entire business brand and really stepped into it and is excited and really kind of just listening right now to spirit of what direction, who to talk to, what to do, and she's doing it. So in only it'll be a year now, and in a year you've done so much. So I want to just say, yes, you're amazing and congratulations, because that is so big. And so often we look at what we've done or where we've come through and we go, oh, I haven't done very much. And Lonice, you're the same way. You created an amazing, you're creating so much amazing stuff this year with your jewelry, with, she started rock hunting with her kids, and oh yeah. And it's so amazing to just sit back and even become aware of our accomplishments, right? Become aware, having that awareness of I'm going to pat myself on the back because I'm awesome. So, Lonice, yes, my husband got a new job. Yay! Oh, yay! I feel like we were both stepped up and taking control of our lives. Yes, you found your part-time job. And then my husband finally had the opportunity to move forward and step in a position that is more deserving of him and his abilities. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Woo. Oh, that is so, just good stuff. I love it. If you're just joining in, please say hello, type your comment, let us know that you're here so that we can acknowledge you and share your wins with you. And it's just so amazing. You know, how good does it feel to have the awareness of like, I'm stepping up? Sometimes when we're going through the actual transition, right? We don't have as much awareness of like, I'm doing it, right? Or it just feels like, oh, this is really scary and I have to do it. But creating that awareness of, wow, I'm really creating my life.
I want a peanut butter and...
Go ask Daddy. Daddy's awake. Go find him. Sorry. Hey Raven, share something awesome that happened to you this week, or that you like want us to celebrate with you, or just was there something that became in your awareness? And for those of you watching the recording, please share down in this feed what's awesome. One of the magical mothers in this group, her business name is actually Magical Mamas. We got our domains almost at around the same time, or she got hers a little bit after mine, but it was really amazing. She had her whole business. We have like the same kind of flow, but she's just created an autumn equinox kind of planner thing. And so I'm really excited about that for her. Good morning, Allison. So as things are coming up, let's celebrate each other. So often in, business or in mothering, I was in a Facebook group just the other day, and it was, somebody put a comment. She goes, I've never realized until I became a mother that mothers are the most judgmental of any group. And I was thinking about that. And I went, well, why would that be, right? Whenever we're faced with something, we need to why is that? Is that true? Possibly. Why is that true? And allowing ourselves to really see, what is it? Is it because I have a feeling that mothers are more judgmental or cause a lot of kind of grief with each other because of our own self-worth issues, right? If that makes sense. And so creating time like this, creating a day, a moment, an entire period of time to really be and celebrate each other, I feel is so foundational, because you know what? We teach our kids now to do that. When we celebrate each other in just like this, hallelujah kind of a way, we really get to see each other's glories. We get to win with each other. And this space is not meant to say oh, I didn't get anything done, because you did. You had another week where you loved your children, where you connected, who knows what you did this week, but you won because you made it through the week. And you might have just had a little bit more insight, or a little bit more awareness, or a little bit more compassion for yourself, or something magical, right? So we really want to take time during our week to pat ourselves on the back, to really and victory dance our way through the weekend, because we can, because we deserve it. Good morning, Amy. As we're really building ourselves up, right? As we're really building ourselves up to creating the lives that we desire, this is a crucial part of really understanding and acknowledging the bigness of who we are. My dog is pushing me into the table. Sorry if it's a little rocky. She's on top of me. And so, Amy, do you have a share? Do you have a lunch break? Perfect timing. Oh, I love it. Yay. Do you have a win this week? I would love to hear about your week if you could share. Just comment any insight, any awareness, any big ahas, any hallelujahs. We'd love to hear those from you. So, as we really just take the time and honoring ourselves to be present in our victories, to be present in our wins, to be present in our seemingly failures. This was something that was shown to me this week, that, you know, while I might have thought that things failed before, when I've tried and tried so many things that just didn't click, right? That they were actually gearing up for me to do them bigger and better the next time around. And I had a Facebook Live that I talked about this, that in the moment that you're like kind of pushed to do something, to do it, to grab it and to do it, because there is a season for everything. And if it doesn't work out, it might not come for the next season or 4 seasons. You know, it might not come for years again, the opportunity to redo it. And as we really grab hold of what we desire and feel it and say, you know what, I have an urge to do this, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it until it's complete. Whether you put it out there or not, you know that you can accomplish things, and that's not a failure. Seeing that things don't work out quite the way you think they do are not failures. They're ways of really building ourselves up to say, wow, how can I see this differently? How can I know that I am worthy of all of the love and all of the support, whether this works out or not, right? All right, Amy, I had a lot. Let's see. I will post more in the group, but I realized peace. Oh, that is huge. She realizes that peace is always available to her. Whoa, I don't need to be rocked by external events. I was so rushed yesterday morning, so I said my mantra, centered, and had a great morning. Isn't that amazing? And I absolutely love this. I love this. When we get these ahas, these huge ahas of going within, that our peace, our joy, our love, our connection is actually within us. And when we truly go within, we're never without it again. We're never without any of these things, because when they come from within, we find them without us, outside of us. And there is no separation then. Huge, 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 Amy. That is like mind-blowing when we get that piece, right? When we see it, and then it's just a matter of kind of holding on to it, right? And when we forget, it's not a failure. It's going, oh wow, yeah, that feels really different. I feel that now. I feel when I don't have it within, or when I'm not acknowledging it from within and I'm looking from outside of ourselves, right? Where we really, like, there's no failure anymore. It's all a victory. It's all a win. And I hear a lot of I listen to a lot of business women who talk about, like, you're worth it, and, you know, play bigger. And if you're not playing bigger, then you're not winning. And while that can be motivating, it can also kind of drag you down, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm not really winning, but I'm really passionate, or I'm really excited about what I'm doing and what I'm giving and about what I'm figuring out, right? Sometimes there's this figuring out process, and you might not be winning or feel like you're winning during that time. Even creating it, like Amy's a teacher, and as she's, you know, figuring out her classroom and putting all the pieces into place and figuring out who should be next to who and how these kids interact with each other, right? It can feel like you're sometimes not winning because you don't have, like, you're not on top of the game. You're like still in that process of trying to maneuver. And this is where we are in the Discover Your Rhythm journey, is we're really in the midst of this, like, figuring out and discovering, and sometimes that doesn't feel like a win. It feels more confusing, or it feels more discombobulating because you're not quite sure where you fit into it, right? But when we realize that as long as we acknowledge and are aware of our own inner magic, we can figure these things out and be winning all the time. We can be on top of the world whether we're actually like on top of the world or not. Because there's a difference between winning and controlling. And I feel like so often we feel like we're not winning because we have no control. And yet when we let go of the control and really step within, this is when we truly win and we truly create lives that are magical because we don't have the expectations for them anymore. Amy, you were saying I'm writing those moments down so I can reread it when need reminding. Yeah, of like those big ahas of like, I'm winning, I get it, I understand. You know, we actually need to have like a giant like memos all over the place, right? We need to have memos of like, I am magical, which is why I made my table. I made my table because it's like I know these things. I know that I am magical, I am blessed, I am loved, I am peaceful, I have trust, you know, I have faith. So Amy's saying, as a teacher, I feel a lot of pressure. So this year I am saying no to perfection and yes to kindness and compassion. Kindness always trumps winning. Yes, kindness is winning. Yes, yes. Because really, when we allow ourselves to see that we are the magical aspect, we are the magic. There's nothing outside of us that needs to be the magic anymore. We simply are it, and when we are it, we can see it. And so choosing kindness over perfection is a beautiful example of winning, and winning like big. I've got to get my dog. Kona, inside. Inside. As we really allow ourselves to see and feel and know the aspect of what winning truly is, and not by the world's standpoint, right? Because the world sees winning as, or whatever success is, and success for me, success for me really is being seen, is getting my message out there. And that is a scary idea for me. And I've had to take these little baby steps of really getting myself out there in a way that feels uncomfortably safe, right? So like I do my Facebook Live in the Magical Mothering Facebook group, rather than doing it on my Facebook page, which would be public and available to everybody. You see what I'm saying? So there's still steps that can be taken to make ourselves out there more, and yet we choose routes that are more safe for us rather than being seen. I'm guilty of it. That's why I'm sharing this, right? And so being aware of how we're choosing to feel safe rather than how we're really choosing to win, and win in a way where it's kindness, win in a way of giving, win in a way of self-love, win in a way of connecting and creating real transformation in our lives that feels bigger than just going through the motions, right? Because so often, Amy, I'm sure you like that is the teacher's model, is to be perfect, have everything in a row, have all the control of your classroom, to be perfect, right? And it's that way I feel like in mothering too, in general. There's this perfection aspect of like, to be a good mom, you have to be perfect. Rather than to be a good mom, how about you just have to be kind? To be a good mom, you have to be giving. To be a good mom, you have to love yourself enough that your children learn to love themselves. And this is the self-care aspect that a lot of moms don't realize, is they see their children love themselves and they give everything into their children, and what they don't realize is when their children shift to become adults or mothers themselves, they will deplete and selflessly give until there's nothing left, because that is what they learned. So you might not see the effects of our mothering and our lack of self-care and our lack of self-love or our lack of self-worth until our children are older, and then you go, oh, wow, I see them repeating that. So this is where Wednesday's sisterhood gathering was really vital, to start acknowledging these generational themes in our lives and to just be aware of them. And not, again, they're not failures. They are amazing. They are, my husband's leaving. They are amazing ways of being, of just being, and seeing that we are on this magical journey of learning and discovering and growing. Yes, we were talking about perfectionism, guilt, and motherhood. It helps to focus on the good you do in the day instead of just the mistakes. Yes. And then Raven, yes, it is something I'm really trying to focus on too, of really creating in our lives this opportunity to be present and to see the mistakes not as mistakes, but of going, oh, I don't really want that. Right? Or, oh, that must, somewhere inside of me, that's coming out. So let's dive a little deeper and go within and discover where that is locked in so that that can transform. And that's really what, when I'm working with women one-on-one, that's what we're doing, is we're going within and they're going, okay, this is what my outside life looks like. I don't want that outside life anymore. Or I need these certain things to transform and to change. And that's where I help them go within, and we actually shift and change the inner dimensions of the inner world so that the outer world begins to focus on that. So going throughout the weekend, remember to be a winner, and not a winner of like success and, you know, all these kinds of worldly aspirations, but a winner because you're aware. A winner because you're learning, a winner because you're growing, and a winner because you are being present. Good morning, Jessica. And as we are going through the weekend being winners, simply because we are magical, right? And we're not thinking that we're not magical, that we're not doubting our own self-worth, that we're not doubting our value, that we're stepping into the bigness of who we are and saying, you know what? I can do this, and I can do this differently than what the world expects of me, because I'm going to do it my own magical way, and I'm not going to be influenced and forced to do it in a way that's out of my integrity, right? So allowing ourselves to really bloom and blossom so that when we come to this Fun Friday next week, we've got so many wins that might possibly look like failures to the rest of the world, but we know that they are more powerful than we could ever imagine and the world ever can think of. And to start showing the world our failures, of saying, look, I've tried this for 3 years now and it's never worked. And yet, you know what I learned from it? I learned how to have patience. I learned how to give whether I get anything in return. I learned how to be present in my uncomfortableness. These are wins. Whether the outside world is going, you are crazy. I get it a lot. I get like, there's something about you that's crazy, right? I'm sure most of our families think most of us are crazy, but that's why we're in this magical little tribe together, because we're all a little nuts. We're all super magical, and in the outside world, that's not understood. And so when we really step into our love and our joy and our excitement and our freedom to be who we are, whether it looks like we're failing in the eyes of the world, but we're winning in the fact that we are being our magical selves, and we're trudging through, but not trudging through as like, woe is me. We're trudging through and like playing in the mud as we're going, right? We're like war painting the mud on us, and we're like have crazy wild muddy hair. We are not trudging through the mud in this woe is me. I'm a mom. It's hard. It sucks today. We're getting dirty and we're playing in it, because that is what is going to transform our lives. And I'm actually have some really exciting things brewing for a possible retreat in the next maybe 6 months or so. And this is just one of those really big aspects of learning how to play through the seemingly failures, through the mistakes, which really are just missteps. How can you walk a different path? How can you walk a different way? How can you walk in a way that feels in integrity? and just that's in alignment with what your soul really desires rather than what we think is coming from the outside. So thank you for this awesomely fun Friday. Jessica, if you feel like you would like to share anything about your own victories, we would love to hear them. This is all about the women in the tribe and their victories, their amazingness. If you have something that you'd love to share, I'd love to hear it. This is the day for you to celebrate. Celebrate like there's everything to celebrate, right? And I think that's really what the gratitude journal is about. That's what all of these things about gratitude are about, is celebrating whether you feel like you have something to celebrate or not. All right. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for being here live, everybody. Mwah! Have a great weekend, and I'll see you for Magical Mothering Motivation on Monday.